Good morning. Welcome to your own terrific Tuesday. Today is going to be again remarkable. Reason being, today the author Eckhart Tolle will speak to all of us about the power of now. And of course, Ikigai will take us to a brand new journey where we start flowing in life. So, a lot of new learning coming our way, just as always. So, let's get up for yet another day. Let's run towards our dreams, knowing that each one of us is a winner for life. Let's creatively visualize them as we run in this morning. These 2 minutes of formation are extremely imperative. So let's just go for them. Let's reach our, oh, sorry. Yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder. I'd taken out the wrong book. So yes, thank you. It's going to be a terrific artistic day. Yes. I'm a winner in life. How wonderful. Once again, let's run towards our dream by changing our foot. Yes. I'm a winner in life. How wonderful. So, Ritesh sir, let's start the magical morning with the artist's way. And could I request Badri to read for us if he's comfortable? Haven't heard him ever since his magical voice the very first time. So I'm trying to unmute you. If you are ready, then please read for all of us.
Yeah.
Today's a wonderful day. Thank you, Badri. Thank you so much. So last week was lovely. We did the week 4. I hope you're trying to come, you're trying to come update yourself about week 4. And we did have a review class on Sunday. So any other queries, please feel free to connect with me. Today is about week 5. Here you and I'm going to be recovering a sense of possibilities. So the world is, we are all pregnant with possibilities all the time, except that we haven't realized. So now all the possibilities are there within us, and you and I'm recovering. This week, you are being asked to examine your payoffs in remaining stuck. So if we are stuck, we are asked to examine ourselves. You will explore how you curtail your own possibilities by placing limits on the good you can receive. You will examine the cost of setting for appearing good instead of being authentic. So that's what also we're going to look at ourselves. So we're going to explore that, are we just looking good or are we actually authentic? You may find yourself thinking about radical changes, no longer ruling out your growth by making others the cause of your constriction. So all of us will see, where are we getting constricted? It's all within us. So it's not about others, it's about us. So all that is going to be coming today. It's very, very beautiful. It's very deep. And in Badri's deep and beautiful voice, let's hear about limits.
One of the chief barriers to accepting God's generosity is limited notion of what we are, in fact, able to accomplish. We may tune in into the voice of the Creator within, hear a message, and then discount it as crazy or impossible. On one hand, we take ourselves very seriously and don't want to look like idiots pursuing some patently grandiose scheme. On the other hand, we don't take ourselves or God seriously enough so that we define as grandiose many schemes that, with God's help, may fall well within our grasp. Remembering that God is my source, we are in His spiritual position of having an unlimited bank account. Most of us never consider how powerful the Creator really is. Instead, we draw very limited amounts of power available to us. We decide how powerful God is for us. We unconsciously set a limit on how much God can give us or help us. We are stingy with ourselves, and if we receive a gift beyond our imagining, we often send it back.
So let's remember one thing: the God, supreme power, whatever you believe in, awesome energy, that is our main source. And if you and I'm ready for this world, nothing can shake us and our faiths. If we really want it to happen, we can realize that, we have this powerful source which is always guiding us. It's within us, and all the power is available. And we don't have to be limited to something. We are limitless. And when we receive a gift, whichever gift it is and however way it's coming, whether we like it or not, we are open and a recipient of it. And we're saying that, everything is wonderful. Now we don't no longer send anything back. Even if you receive some kind of a compliment or some kind of a criticism, you will neither shirk the compliment. No, 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 no. It's not like that. If somebody's saying you've lost weight, yeah, thank you so much. Even if you may not have. If somebody's saying, you know what, I think you spoke wrong here, we accept that also, because yes, we may have spoken wrong. It could have been his perspective, and maybe this is when I reflect within, I could have gone wrong. So now everything in our life, we are accepting it the way it is. So Ellen Caddy says, expect your every need to be met, accept the answer to every problem, expect abundance on every level, expect to grow spiritually. So if you're expecting that, everything needs to be done in a beautiful fashion, that we have answers to every problems, that we are all abundant and we're growing spiritually. So if you're growing spiritually, you're growing emotionally, mentally, physically, because that's how it is. Spirituality is a key to success. So now the power of dreams are all going to come to us once we are so open and expecting something good from ourselves. Let's continue.
Some of you may be thinking that this sounds like a Magic Man chapter. I pray and presto. Sometimes that it is how it will feel. Most often, we are talking about seems to be conscious partnership in which we work along slowly and gradually, clearing away the wreckage of a negative patterning, clearing the vision of what it is we want, learning to accept small pieces of that vision from whatever source, and then one day, presto, the vision seems to suddenly be in a place. In other words, pray to catch the bus, then run as fast as you can.
How wonderful. So, having a dream is very important. A clear dream is very important. Having a conscious partnership is extremely important. A constant partnership with the inner guidance, with the world, with life, having our back, and clearing away all negative emotional baggage so that, we are absolutely fresh, whole, and complete. And once our vision is set, once we are set, and then knowing that, okay, I am learning to accept small pieces of my vision. Break your vision one by one by one. Have a large picture, break it, and then now what are we told? Pray to catch the bus and then run as fast as you can. So now we start praying for our dreams, and we make smaller actions and we start implementing them day by day as fast as we can without further delay. Yes, please.
For this to happen, first of all, we must believe that we are allowed to catch the bus. We come to recognize that God is unlimited in supply and that everyone has equal access. This begins to clear up guilt about having or getting too much. Since everyone can draw on the universal supply, we deprive no one with our abundance. If we learn to think of receiving God's good as being an act of worship, cooperating with God's plan to manifest goodness in our life, we can begin to let go of having to sabotage ourselves. One
So very, very
reason,
important again. I think it's very clear. If anybody is doubtful about something, just put a comment so that I can explain what Badri has read. Thank you.
one reason we are miserly with ourselves is scarcity thinking. We don't want our luck to run out. We don't want to overspend our spiritual abundance. Again, we are limiting our flow by anthropomorphizing God in a capricious parent figure. Remembering that God is our source, an energy flow that likes to extend itself, we become more able to tap our creative power effectively. God has lots of money. God has lots of movie ideas, novel ideas, poems, songs, paintings, acting jobs. God has a supply of love, friends, houses that are available to us. By listening to the Creator within, we are led to our right path. On that path, we find friends, lovers, money, and meaningful work. Very often, when we cannot seem to find an adequate supply, it is because we are insisting on a particular human source of supply. We must learn to let the flow manifest itself where it will, not where we will it.
So very important. Let me just summarize these three paragraphs very simply. Firstly, we don't allow to God's plans to come through. He's planned something larger than life for each one of us. लेकिन हमने उसको sabotage कर दिया by our limited poverty mindset. कि नहीं ये तो सपने अच्छे बड़े हैं but it's impossible. We can't get them. So हमने ये अपने आप को limit कर दिया है. Now we are not spending our time in our spiritual abundance. So let's just spend time spiritually growing. So उसके बाद क्या होगा? Anthropomorphizing God into capricious figure means this is our attitude. हमने एक behavior बना लिया अपने लिए कि we are very capricious about our entire behavior. So start becoming abundant, start growing, start becoming limitless. जब एक source है, जब एक हमारे inner guidance है, जब energy flow हो रही है body में, so who is going to stop us? Creative power हमको इतनी मिली हुई है, so let's expand it, let's grow it. And now God doesn't care. आपने manifest किया है 1 रुपए के लिए, 10 के लिए, 100 के लिए, 1000 के लिए, lakh के लिए, 1 crore के लिए, 100 crores के लिए, 100 crores के लिए, 1 parab के लिए, kharab के लिए, it doesn't matter. God has lots of money. And God has movie ideas. हम अगर mental movie नहीं देखेंगे अपनी life की, poems नहीं create करेंगे, there is so much in our life. Poems हैं, songs हैं, paintings हैं, so much is there. Now you have to learn to create. If you can tap into his, energy of money, money is so easy for all of us. Let's start listening to the creator within. Creator within कौन है? हमारा subconscious mind, our higher self. And we will be ready to the right path. So बहुत important है कि in this path, let's grow meaningful. Friends भी बहुत important है, love life भी important है, आपकी family भी important है, money भी important है, और meaningful work जिसके लिए ikigai हम पढ़ रहे हैं. Purposeful work, meaningful work बहुत important है. अगर हम इन सबको tap कर रहे हैं, then we are infinite source of supply and energy. उसके बाद life will start flowing so beautifully, and whatever we want, we will get. जहाँ हम रुके हुए हैं, वहाँ से हम move करना शुरू कर देंगे towards the future only. Yes, please, let's continue.
Kara, a writer, spent far spent far longer than she should remaining in an abusive agent relationship because she thought it would be creative suicide to sever that professional tie. The relationship was plagued with evasions, half truth, delays. Kara hung in, afraid to let go her agent's prestige. Finally, a particularly abusive phone call. Kara wrote a letter severing the relationship. She felt as if she just jumped into her outer space. When her husband came home, she tearfully told him how she had sabotaged her career. He listened and then said, "A week ago, I was in the bookstore and the owner asked me if you had a good agent. He gave me this woman's name and the number. Call her." Tearfully, Sarah acquiesced. She got She got onto the phone and connected immediately to her new agent sensibility. Then they have been working together very successfully ever since. To my eye, this is a story not of synchronicity, but also of right dependence on universe as source. Once Sarah became willing to receive her good form, whatever source it appeared in, she stopped being victimized. I
Very
recently
important. Kara की story सुन रहे हैं हम सब. 1 second. So Kara was just not right in the right attitude, and in fact, she was always victimizing herself. But the minute she told her husband and explained to her that there's somebody, when she's open, the receptive channels open up for all of us because universe is an abundant source. The minute you open up, everything opens up. कहाँ से क्या opportunities आ रही है, कौन walk in कर रहा है life में, it doesn't matter. So let's be open and receptive. Let him do his big work. Let us just flow. Yes, please.
I recently had a woman artist tell me that she got her new and excellent agent by using affirmations. Even after years of artistic recovery, I still have my cynical side that says, "Hmm, it is tough. We would we want to believe God can create the subatomic structure, but it is clueless when faced with how to aid our fixing up painting, sculpture, writing, film. I recognize that many will balk at the simplicity of this concept. God doesn't run the movie business. We want to say CA does. I want to sound a cautionary note here for artists who put their creative lives into solely human hands, then block your good. The desire to be worldly, sophisticated, and small often blocks our flow. We have ideas and opinions about where our good should come from. As a Hollywood screenwriter, I had many rueful conversations with other screenwriters about the fact that while our agents were often invaluable, we seemed to get awful lot of breaks from places like my next door neighbor, my dentist brother, or somebody's my wife went to college with. Those breaks are God, the source in action.
Very important to understand that if we are using our affirmations, whatever we want is coming true. People can get stuff, people can get all their wishes come true. And if you're going on an artistic date, then you're recovering yourself, your cynical side is just going to move out, and you're going to be creating yourself the way you want. Lots of forms of expression will come out, and you will not even realize कि कैसे आप you're blossoming like a rose. Like rose बंद होती है, but it blossoms into a beautiful flower. Similarly, a lotus, this is the way you and I will blossom the minute we start going on artistic dates, we start having our morning pages, we start doing all the exercises, and then we will realize that life is so simple. हमने इतना complicate unnecessarily किया हुआ था. तब आपकी creativity जो आपके अंदर block हो चुकी थी, वो भी open हो जाएगी because we are made creative. अगर हमारे अंदर creation नहीं होती, so हमने ये life कैसे create करी होती? ठीक है, God is, I mean, our God is there with us. So let's understand that we are opening ourselves and we're just opening the flow of life. Yes, please.
I have said before that creativity is a spiritual issue. Any progress is made by leaps of faith, some small and some large. At first, we may want faith to take the first dance class, the first step towards learning a new medium. Later, we may want the faith and the funds for further classes, seminars, a larger workspace, a year's sabbatical. Later, still, we may conceive an idea for a book, an artist's collective gallery space. As each idea comes to us, we must in good faith, clear away our inner barriers to acting on it. And then, on an outer level, take the concrete steps necessary to trigger our synchronous good.
Very important again for all of us to understand. Synchronicity will come in, lots of magics will come in, ways will open up. Just when you and I have faith, when we have faith, all the barriers which are there will stop to exist. Sophocles says, look and you will find it. What is unsought will go undetected. अगर हम देखेंगे नहीं so हमें कैसे कुछ मिलेगा. So अब हम जब हमारे artistic week कर रहे हैं, we are starting to open and see the world very beautifully. That is why synchronicity is coming, magics are coming, faith is coming, belief is coming, and so we are having a magical life. It's very, very beautiful. Yes, please.
If this still sounds airy-fairy to you, ask yourself bluntly, what next step you're evading? What dream are you discounting as impossible given your resources? What payoff are you getting for remaining stuck at this point in your expansion? God as my source is simple but completely effective plan for living. It removes negative dependency and anxiety from our lives by assuring us that God will provide. Our job is to listen for how. One way we listen is by writing our morning pages. At night, before we fall asleep, we can list areas in which we need guidance. In the morning, writing on these same topics, we find ourselves seeing previously unseen avenues of approach. Experiment with this two-step process. Ask for answers in the evening, listen for answers in the morning, be open to all help.
This is something new. अब हम वीक 5 में आ गए हैं. 4 हफ्ते से हमें प्रैक्टिस हो गई मॉर्निंग पेजेस लिखने की. मॉर्निंग पेजेस में हम बस फ्लो कर रहे थे, कुछ भी हमारे मन में आया था हम लिख रहे थे. अब हमें क्या बोला जा रहा है, 2 स्टेप प्रोसेस कर लीजिए. रात में सोने के पहले कुछ टॉपिक डिसाइड कर लीजिए, अपने हायर सेल्फ से पूछ लीजिए, अपने गाइडेंस से पूछ लीजिए कि क्या वो चीजें हैं जिनके मुझे आंसर्स चाहिए, या ऐसा क्या है लाइफ में जो इंटरट्वाइन करना है. एंड फिर वो टॉपिक्स लिख लीजिए. अगर वो आपको इमीडिएट गाइडेंस मिलती है, उसी बुक को आप बेड साइड पे रख लीजिए. सो रात को आपने वो टॉपिक्स लिख लिए जो भी आपको गाइडेंस मिली. मॉर्निंग में वहीं बैठे बैठे बिफोर गेटिंग आउट एंड डूइंग एनीथिंग एल्स, जस्ट राइट दोज आंसर्स डाउन. ऑफ कोर्स अगर आपको मॉर्निंग पेजेस थोड़े बाद में लिखने हैं, बाद में लिख लीजिए, बट बेस्ट होता है फर्स्ट थॉट्स क्या आती हैं उनको हम उतार दें. एंड अब अगर आप चाहें तो नॉर्मल राइटिंग में लिख सकते हैं स्क्रिबलिंग की जगह, बिकॉज अब आपका ब्लॉकेजेस महीने भर में काफी कुछ खत्म हो गए. सो अब आप चाहें तो उनको पढ़ भी सकते हैं, बट दैट्स टोटली योर विश. Leo Tolstoy says, it is within my power either to serve God or not to serve him. Serving him, I add to my own good and the good of the whole world. Not serving him, I forfeit my own good and deprive the world of that good which was in my power to create. तो हम सबको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दी गई है, एक लाइफ दी गई है कि हम कुछ क्रिएट करें और वर्ल्ड में उसका एक्सपैंड करें. हमने क्या कर लिया है, लिमिटेड लाइफ कर ली है. Badri is in his world, Ritu is in his world, Gyan ji, Usha ji are their world, Prachi is in their world. हमने ऐसे कुछ क्रिएट ही नहीं किया जो दूसरों को आगे जाकर भी हेल्प कर रहा है. इतनी पावर मिली है हमने, पर हमने ऊपर वाले को सर्व नहीं किया शिद्दत से. कैसे सर्व करना है, पूजा पाठ करके पैसे चढ़ाने से सर्व नहीं होता. सर्व करना है बट being truthful to him. God has given us two things, two universal qualities, love and light. अगर इफ यू आर सीइंग लाइट इन एवरीथिंग, कहीं डार्कनेस नहीं है, छिछी में क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं है कि क्या हो गया, वो क्या हो गया, ऐसा क्यों कर दिया, वैसा क्यों कर दिया, नहीं है. accept everything the way they are. This is how the person is. It's okay. And if you're just about love, you will not even see criticism. अगर ये दो चीजें हम ले आए लाइफ में, so हम इतना क्रिएट कर सकते हैं that each one of us can make a difference at a global level. पर हम लोग को पता ही नहीं. Why do you think only few hundreds of people have made an effect? Leo Tolstoy है, Einstein है, so many people. Why only few hundreds? Why not in a world of crores and billions and trillions and zillions of people? Why only few hundreds? That's because they have reached a spirituality. So I'm so happy and proud of all of us कि as a sangha हम spirituality की world में जा रहे हैं. And let's talk about finding the river. It's also about flowing. So let's talk about this.
For 4 weeks now, we have been excavating our consciousness. We have seen how often we think negatively and fearfully how frightening it has been for us to begin to believe that there might be a right place for us that we could attain by listening to our creative voice and following its guidance. We have begun to hope and we have feared that hope. The shift to spiritual dependency is a gradual one. We have been making the shift slowly and surely. With each day, we become more true to ourselves, more open to the positive. To our surprise, it seems to be working in our human relationship. We find we are able to tell more of our truth, hear more of other people's truth, and encompass a far more kindly attitude towards both. We are becoming less judgmental of others with ourselves and others. How is it possible? The morning pages, a flow of stream of consciousness, gradually loosens our hold on fixed opinions and short-sighted views. We see that our moods, views, and insights are transitory. We acquire a sense of movement, a current of change in our lives. This current or river is a flow of grace moving us to our right livelihood, companions, destiny.
तो हम सबकी स्पिरिचुअल मूवमेंट ग्रोथ बहुत धीरे धीरे हो रही है. ग्रेजुअली फेथ आ रहा है, थैंक यू उसके वर्ल्ड में जा रहे हैं. ग्रेजुअली हम अपना ट्रूथ फाइंड कर पा रहे हैं कि ओके व्हाट एम आई, और ग्रेजुअली हम दूसरों को एक्सेप्ट कर पा रहे हैं कि वो लोग जैसे हैं परफेक्ट हैं. अब हम जज कम करते हैं. क्यों कर रहे हैं जज कम? क्योंकि अब हमने एक महीना कॉन्स्टेंटली अपने मॉर्निंग पेजेस लिखे हैं, जहाँ एक कॉन्शियसनेस का स्ट्रीम लिखे जा रहे हैं जिसने हमको लूज कर दिया है. अब हमारे ओपिनियंस फिक्स नहीं है, अब हम इतने शॉर्ट साइटेड व्यू नहीं है, और अगर हमारे हैं तो हमें अभी भी मॉर्निंग पेजेस लिखने हैं. मॉर्निंग पेजेस हम एमलेस जब लिखते हैं ना, तो उससे अंदर की सब परतें बाहर खुल जाती हैं. सो अब दैट्स व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन ऑल ऑफ अस. जिन लोगों ने अभी तक नहीं शुरू किया है लिखना, मेरा अभी भी रिक्वेस्ट है, इट्स नॉट टू लेट. ये जर्नी 8 हफ्ते की और है हमारी. प्लीज जॉइन अस बिकॉज इट्स आप ही के लिए अच्छा होगा. मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा अगर किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़े, बट एज अ कोच, एज योर को सीकर, मुझे फर्क पड़ेगा अगर एक जना भी पीछे रह गया रेस में. तो रिक्वेस्टिंग ऑल द कैटलिस्ट एंड बूस्टर्स टू प्लीज चेक ऑन योर संघा एवरी सिंगल डे, मोटिवेट देम, पुश देम. एक आर्टिस्ट पेज का मॉर्निंग पेज भी मंगा लो, चाहे स्क्रिबल ये मंगा लो, सो दैट एटलीस्ट वी नो कि भाई करा है कि नहीं करा है, या इंटेग्रिटी से लोग हाँ ना कर दें. प्लीज डिसाइड एंड लेट्स कीप मूविंग ऑन. यस Badri, let's read.
Dependence on the Creator within is really freedom from all the other dependencies. Paradoxically, it is also the only route to real intimacy with other human beings. Freed from our terrible fears of abandonment, we are able to live with more spontaneity, freed from our constant demands for more and more reassurance. Our fellows are able to love us back without feeling so burdened. As we listen to our artist child within, it, be- it has begun to feel more and more safe. Feeling safe, it speaks a little louder. Even on our worst days, a small positive voice says, "You could still do this," or might be fun to do that. Most of us find that as we work with the morning pages, we are rendered less rigid than we are when we were. Recovery is a process of finding the river and saying yes to its flow, rapids and all. We started ourselves by saying yes instead of no to opportunities. As we begin to pry ourselves loose from our old self concepts, we find that our new emerging self may enjoy all sorts of bizarre adventures.
तो अब हमको शायद आर्टिस्टिक डेट पे जाके मजा आ रहा है कि अरे कुछ तो अपने लिए किया, मस्ती आई, ग्रेट. एंड द इनर चाइल्ड इज लाफिंग कि वाओ, अरे अब तो ये करते हैं, ट्राई तो करते हैं, इट माइट बी फन. अकेले जाना, ये करना. अब हम थोड़ी सी अपने इनर चाइल्ड, इनर आर्टिस्ट की बात सुन रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब हम तो लूज हो गए हैं मॉर्निंग में लिख लिख कर. आइए आगे बढ़ते हैं.
Michelle, a hard driving dressed for success lawyer, enrolled in flamenco dancing lessons and loved them. Her house, a formerly a sleek, careerist high-tech showcase suddenly began filling up with lush plants, plump pillows, sensuous intents, tropical colors bloomed on the once white walls. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to cook a little and then to sew again. She was still a successful lawyer, but her life took on a rounded shape. She laughed more, looked prettier. I can't believe I'm doing this, she would announce with delight as she laughed into some new venture. And
She
then
launched into a new one.
she launched into some new venture. And then I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
So very
But
important to understand that we all are moving towards a brighter side of our life. So let me just read the next few bit. By holding lightly to an attitude of gentle exploration, we can begin to lean into creative expansion. So अगर हम explore करेंगे, so we can creatively expand. By replacing no way and with maybe, we can open the door to mystery and magic. So अब हम open and receptive हो गए हैं. So पहले हम बोलते नहीं नहीं possible ही नहीं, कौन कर सकता है यार, possible ही नहीं. But अब हम ready हैं for the mystery and the magic. This newly positive attitude is a beginning of trust. So welcome to this beautiful world of trust. Let's change the page, sir. We are starting to look for a silver lining in what appears to be adversity. So अब हमारे cloud में silver lining दिख रही है हमें. किसी negative में भी अब हमें challenges में हमने magic book में भी सीखा था कि one negative is equal to 10 positives. So most of us find that as we work with the morning pages, we begin to treat ourselves more gently. अब हम थोड़ा सा अपने लिए softer हो गए हैं, अपने आप को judge नहीं करते, criticize नहीं करते, we are moving towards a better us. Feeling less desperate, we are less harsh with ourselves and with others. अब हम desperate भी नहीं हैं, उतने tough भी नहीं हैं, अपने साथ भी नहीं, दूसरों के साथ भी नहीं, और जितना अगर हैं भी, तो धीरे धीरे next 8 weeks में बहुत change हो जाएगा. This compassion is one of the first fruits of aligning our creativity with its creator. जब हमें compassion शुरू हो जाता है दूसरों के लिए आना, अपने लिए आना, इसका मतलब हम सही राह पे चलना शुरू कर देते हैं. Margaret Young says, often people attempt to live their lives backwards. They try to have more things, more money, in order to do more of what they want so that they will be happier. This way it actually works is the reverse. You must first be who you really are and then do what you need to do in order to have what you want. So Margaret Young बोल रही है पहले हमें जैसे हम हैं उसको accept करना चाहिए, फिर move करना चाहिए जो हम करना चाहते हैं, जो हम बनना चाहते हैं उसकी direction में. Backward नहीं, frontward. पहले plan कर लो, align कर लो and move करो. Don't just want to be somebody else. Yes, Patri, please continue as we come.
as we come to trust and love our internal guide, we lose our fear of intimacy because we no longer confuse our intimate others with the higher power we are coming to know. In short, we are learning to give up idolatry, the worship dependency on any person, place, or thing. Instead, we place our dependency on the source itself. The source meets our needs through people, places, and things. This concept is very hard one for most of us to really credit. We tend to believe we must go out and shake a few trees to make things happen. I would not deny that shaking few trees is good for us. In fact, I believe it is necessary. I call it doing the footwork. I want to say, however, that while the footwork is necessary, I have seldom seen it pay off in a linear fashion. It seems to work more like we shake up the apple tree and the universe delivers oranges. Time and again, I have seen a recovering creative do the footwork of becoming internally clear and focused about dreams and delights. Take a few outward steps in the directions of the dream, only to have universe fling open an unexpected door. One of the central tasks of creative recovery is learning to accept this generosity.
Badri, firstly, thank you for reading. Secondly, I love the little chants on the backside. It's a beautiful, majestic, soulful morning. So thank you for that. Beautiful. I don't know who's that, your wife or your mom, but beautiful.
Prerna's Guru Puja is going on in Diamond.
Beautiful. Lovely. I wish one day I come and hear in person. It's beautiful. All right. So a lot of us in idolatry, idols को worship करते हैं, जगह पे जाते हैं, हमें किसी चीज की जरूरत पड़ती है to feel good कि हमने worship कर लिया, हमने कर लिया, लेकिन हमारे अंदर भगवान है। अब हम spirituality के अंदर जा रहे हैं, the source itself, the sun or the soul or the energies within us. Now, when we are meeting people, we're finding the same energy and the same source everywhere. It's very beautiful to understand, and you and I'm creating a life of purpose. अब हमें डिनाई नहीं करना है, वो ट्रीज को शेक नहीं करना है। अब हमें पता है that the tree will fall. So yeah, you want to shake, but now footwork is very important. Let's creatively create ourselves into better beings. Let's understand the universe is flinging open and unexpected doors are opening. I don't know how many of you have done divine love meditation. उसमें एक word आता है that the doors are opening, and then you see this universal huge doors opening. So when I see that video, I'm like, wow, yes, doors are opening and I'm walking through. So now we're in a creative recovery path. So Puneet, you've raised your hand. You want to read? I don't know. I mean, you've raised your hand. Okay. The virtue trap. So Badri, yes, please continue.
The virtue trap. An artist must have downtime, time to do nothing. Defending our right to such time takes courage, conviction, and resiliency. Such time, space, and quiet will strike our family and friends with a withdrawal from them it is. For an artist, withdrawal is necessary. Without it, the artist in us feels vexed, angry, and out of sorts. If such deprivation continues, our artist becomes sullen, depressed, hostile. We eventually become like cornered animals, snaring at our family and friends to leave us alone and stop making unreasonable demands. We are the ones making unreasonable demands. We expect our artist to be able to function without giving it what it needs to do so. An artist requires the upkeep of creative solitude. An artist requires the healing of time alone. Without this period of recharging, an artist becomes depleted. Over time, it becomes something worse than out of sorts. Death threats are issued.
So let me just make this a little clearer. So now the artist within us is now growing. Now it's got more himmat, more courage, it's got a conviction, it's got a belief, and resilient as well. Now there are times when there's absolute quiet space, and there are times when you will find a withdrawal symptom with your family or with your friends. There is a time that the quiet will strike. That's okay. Withdrawal sometimes is important कि यार ये लोग different tangent पे हैं, मैं कहीं और vibrate कर रहा हूँ. I'm not in the same picture. It's okay. जरूरत है in fact इसकी. Now don't get angry. अगर गुस्सा आ रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, so even that's okay. अगर deprivation है, एकदम से artist moody हो रहा है, hostile हो रहा है, even that's okay. Now what's going to happen is, if we are in this world, then we may be like cornered. We must just be, कभी-कभी ऐसा लगेगा कि हम तो एकदम अकेले हो गए. But please understand, this is it's just a phase. We can't expect an artist to be, everything, right? So artist को time लगता है अपने creativity को बाहर निकलने में, creative solitude से बाहर निकलने में. An artist needs time to heal. So आप सबके अंदर जो अभी इतना भरा हुआ था गुमार, उसको आप morning pages में लिख रहे हैं. So you're becoming a little loose. Now let's understand it to recharge an artist. Recharge कैसे करते हैं हम? Morning pages में लिखकर हम सब outlet कर रहे हैं. Recharge करते हैं by pampering ourselves on going on a 2-hour block artist date. I request everyone to try this. If you're a couple doing the session, both of you go together, but let one man go there, the woman go somewhere else. Don't meet each other for 2 hours. Same चीज, same time पे दो जने करें तो आप लोग के आपस का भी. Suppose if, for example, Rigu and Naveen said they went to buy plants. So okay, buy plants. But let Rigu be in one part of the nursery, let Naveen be in one part. So that he buys his, whatever he likes, she buys hers. Don't decide what you're going to buy. Just go impulsive. So that is the reason you're recharging yourselves. And it's going to become very, very, very beautiful. Yes, please, let's continue.
In early stages, these death threats are issued to our intimates. I could kill you when you interrupt me. Oh, to spouse who doesn't take the hint. Woe to the hapless child who doesn't give you solitude. You're making me very angry. Over time, if our warnings are ignored and we deem to stay in whatever circumstance, marriage, job, friendship, requires threats and warnings. Homicide gives way to suicide. I want to kill myself replaces I could murder you. What's the use? Replaces our feelings of joy and satisfaction. We may go through the actions of continuing our life. We may even continue to produce creatively, but we are leaching blood from ourselves, vampirizing our souls. In short, we are on the treadmill of virtuous production and we are caught. We are caught in the virtue trap. There are powerful payoffs to be found in staying stuck and differing, nurturing your sense of self. For many creatives, the belief that they must be nice and worry about what will happen with their friends, family, mate, if they dare to do what they really wanted to constitutes a powerful reason for non action.
So very important for us to understand that now instead of saying what's the use, let's start feeling happy and satisfied in whatever we are doing. Let's continue doing what we love to do. In fact, the things you haven't done ever before. People have been telling you, don't do this, don't do that, and you've been letting them do it. Now it's a time to actually live your life. Do something that you love. Not let other people leech out on your blood and your whims and your fancies and just because, whatever. Get out of this trap because you are the only one who can get out of it. The payoffs are beautiful. If you're nurturing your soul, you're nurturing your sense of self. Okay, this is what I love, and 2 hours I am doing this. So more power to you. Please do that. It's very important. Now, friends के साथ क्या होगा, family के साथ क्या होगा, it doesn't matter. Mates के साथ क्या होगा, partner, it doesn't matter. Let them do what they do. You do what you do. You have powerful reasons now to do it. So get into action because very, very important to keep growing as a person. It's time to let loose all those shackles of society, shackles of partnership, of parenthood, or or being a child. Yes, you must do them. But what is it? Time for yourself is also very important. Gradually will come a time. अभी तो 2 घंटे की बात करें artist date का. I give myself an artist date every single day. Those 2 hours, if I want, I do something that I want, whether it's strolling on my terrace, whether it's meditating, whether it's reading, or whether it's talking, something that I love to do. And that's just so beautiful. I've got a good chunk of 3 4 hours where I do what I love. So even sometimes if in the car, like yesterday, I had a 3 hour drive. It was raining cats and dogs. So while going to the factory, it was really raining. And the driver was like, "Bahar वापस चलेंगे मैम?" I said, "नहीं, let's go to the factory." 3 hours lage, but in 3 hours में मैंने meditate करती थी, सो भी गई, and I woke up so fresh. It was beautiful. So please start giving yourselves time. Yes, please, let's continue.
A man who works in a busy office may crave and need the retreat of solitude. Nothing would serve him better than a vacation alone. But he thinks that's selfish, so that he doesn't do it. It wouldn't be nice to his wife. A woman with 2 children wants to take a pottery class. It conflicts with some of her it
Sorry.
conflicts with some of her son's little league practices, and she wouldn't be able to attend as faithful audience. She cancels pottery and plays the good mother, seething on the sidelines with resentments. A young father with a serious interest in photography earns for a place in home to pursue his interest. The installation of a modest family
I can't hear you. Can you hear Badri? Okay. So young father with a serious interest in photography yearns for a place in the home to pursue his interest. The installation of a modest family dark room would require dipping into savings and deferring the purchase of a new couch. The dark room doesn't get set up, but the new couch does. So, very important for all of us to keep growing and finding these beautiful interests, whatever we are yearning for. It doesn't matter whether you were allowed or not allowed. Now, please set it up. So, last page, Toni Morrison said, "We are traditionally rather proud of ourselves for having slipped creative work in there between the domestic chores and obligations. I'm not sure we deserve such big A pluses for that." So now all of us are taking a big thing कि अरे मैंने बच्चों को look after किया, खाना बनाया, ये duty करी, वो duty करी. Okay, now there's no big thing to gloat about them. That's what we are just, we're not looking at what we really, these are our obligations that you're doing them. It's not nothing to gloat about. It's time to move on. Many recovering creatives sabotage themselves most frequently by making nice. There's a tremendous cost to make to such a Sats virtue. I'm not sure what this means. Can someone Google the meaning? Osat's virtue. Nice, interesting. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll read something from Susan Rothenberg. You build up a head of steam. If you're 4 days out of the studio, on the fifth day, you really crash in there. You will kill anybody who disturbs you on that fifth day when you desperately need it. So, just that all of us are now coming in that world. Initially, we were very steamed up, boiled up. Now we are recovering. We're just going the next level. So, nobody sent me the meaning. All right. Okay. So many of us have made a virtue out of deprivation. We have not real, okay? Or sad. So let's read this again. Many recovering creatives sabotage themselves from most frequently by making nice. There is a tremendous cost to such unreal virtue. Yes, absolutely. Osats, nice. Interesting. Inferior one, not real. Nice. Thank you so much. So all of us are now moving into a beautiful world. Many of us have made a virtue out of deprivation. We've deprived ourselves and वो हमने अपनी nature बना ली कि अरे I don't deserve it. I need to do for the others. It's very important कि दूसरों के लिए काम करो. We have embraced a long-suffering artistic anorexia as a martyr's cross. We have used it to feed a false sense of spirituality grounded in being good, meaning superior. So what have we done? In our life, we have made ourselves suffer. Anorexia ho gaya. We become so depleted. We are like just sacrificing. We're the sacrificial lambs all the time. कि नहीं दूसरों के लिए करना है, दूसरों के लिए करना है. Okay, दूसरों के लिए करने में बड़प्पन है. लोगों ने शायद सिखाया भी है, society ने बोला भी है. But what is spirituality? Is finding your own spirit's real actuality. Now that is what we are not finding. So now we are in a paradox. Yes, please. Badri, you can continue to read. I call this seductive.
I call this seductive. Fox spirituality, the virtue trap. Spirituality has often been misused as a route to an unloving solitude, a stance where we proclaim ourselves above our human nature. The spiritual superiority is really only one more form of denial. For an artist, virtue can be deadly. The urge towards respectability and maturity can be stultifying, even fatal. We strive to be good, to be nice, to be helpful, to be unselfish. We want to be generous of service of the world. But what we really want is to be left alone. We can't get ourselves, when we can't get ourselves to leave us alone, we eventually abandon ourselves to others. We may look like we are there. We may act like we are there. But our true self has gone to ground. What's left is a shell of a whole self. It stays because it is caught, like a listless circus animal prodded into performing. It does its tricks. It goes through its routine. It earns its applause. But all of the hoopla falls on our deaf ears. We are dead to it. Our artist is not merely out of sorts. Our artist has checked out. Our life is now an out-of-body experience. We are gone. A cynical might call it disassociating. I call it leaving the scene of crime.
Very important to understand that we are just stultifying ourselves, just stifling our enthusiasm, just stifling our desires, our wishes, our whims, our fancies. And then it's all called fox spirituality. Oh, I'm in this world, I'm really looking after everyone. I'm a very spiritual person, a very family man. And that's not spiritual. Now let's understand that to be nice, to be generous, to be good is great. These are our virtues and we should expand them. But our true self has gone to ground because we are not finding our true self, we're not being guided. So very important that we are growing now in this beautiful world. Let's form some routines, let's go for applauses, let's just now go and evolve ourselves, because our artist is now itching to create something which is magical. Yes, please come out wherever you are. We whittle, but our creative self no longer trusts us. Why should it? We sold it out. सो आर्टिस्ट सेल्फ, अब हम बोल रहे हैं कि आर्टिस्ट को कि चलो अब लाइफ क्रिएट करते हैं, वो बोलता है कि सुना ही नहीं ना, 20 30 40 50 60 70 years you haven't heard me, now I'm not, I don't want to come. So अब coax करना पड़ेगा, because now, and how are you coaxing? By everyday writing your artistic pages, the morning pages. Yes, please.
Afraid to appear selfish, we lose ourselves. We become self destructive. Because this self murder is something that we seek passively rather than consciously act out. We are often blind to a poisonous grip on us. The question, are we, are we self destructive, is asked so frequently that we seldom hear it accurately. What it means is, are you destructive of yourself? And what that really asks us is, are you destructive of what your true nature, of your true nature? Many people caught in the virtue trap do not appear to be self destructive to the casual eye, bent on being good husbands, fathers, mothers, wives, teachers, whatevers. They have constructed a false self that looks good to the world and meets with lot of worldly approval. This false self is always patient, always willing to defer its needs to meet the needs of demands of another. What a great guy that that Fred gave his concert tickets to help me move on on a Friday night.
So I think all of us know such people जो हमेशा good boys good girls बनते हैं. Oh, she's the best. Oh, he's the best. वो अपना, they give away their pleasures to the other कि नहीं, I must do it. Why? Now they're insecure. They want the worldly approval. कि अरे लोग बोले अरे what a man. Oh, what a woman. So now this is where we are differing away from the main thing. So please, this is just false notions. These are just virtue traps. It's important to find your true self. Let's talk about in the coming paragraphs.
Virtuous to a fault, these trapped creatives have destroyed the true self, the self that didn't meet with much approval as a child, the self who heard repeatedly, "Don't be selfish." The true self is a disturbing character, healthy and occasionally anarchic, who knows how to play, how to say no to others, and yes to itself.
Now this is very important. अपने आप के लिए हाँ बोलना, अपने लिए स्टैंड लेना कि मुझे करना है यार, this is what I want to eat, this is what I want to do. तुम्हें नहीं करना, it's not always about you, it's about me. Now take a stand for yourself is very important. बहुत husbands अपनी wives की सारी बातें मान लेते हैं, बेचारों के पास option ही नहीं होता, या wives ऐसा कर लेती हैं husbands के लिए. Now time to start living for yourself. Please start saying मेरा भी तो मन है यार, आज मेरी बात सुन लो. Say it diplomatically, there's no need to become aggressive, but start listening to yourself. So you were very selfish in the sense of making people very happy. So you thought, oh, this is great, but now become selfish. Okay, I want to do this. Say yes to yourself. Very, very important. Yes, please, let's read.
Creatives who are caught in the virtue trap still cannot let themselves approve of this true self. They can't show it they can't show it to the world without dreading the world's continued disapproval. Can you believe it? Fred used to be such a nice guy, always ready to help me out. Anytime, any place I asked him to help me move last week, and he said he was going to a play. What did Fred get so cultured?
I ask you. Fred knows full well that if he stops being so nice, fabulous Fred, his outsized nice guy alter ego, will bite the dust. Martyred Mary knows the same thing as she agrees to round 5 of babysitting for her sister so that she can go out. Saying no to her sister would be saying yes to herself, and that is a responsibility that Mary just can't handle. Free on a Friday night, what would she do with herself? That's a good question, and one of many that Mary and Fred use their virtue to ignore. Are you self destructive?
Yeah.
Is a question that apparently virtuous would be bound to answer with a resounding no. They then conjure up a list of proving how responsible they are. But responsible to whom? The question is, are you self destructive? Not, do you appear self destructive? And most definitely not, are you nice to other people?
So जो लोग ना अपनी दुनिया में रहते हैं वो are constructive, self-constructive people. Yes, the family may think ये तो अपनी दुनिया में रहता है, ये तो अपनी दुनिया में रहती है. But actually वो बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं because they're saying no to right things, saying yes to their things. And शुरू में when you and I am creating our life, it's good to be a little selfish. Selfish. We listen to, okay, let me read what we missed out on that page before. I forgot to read it. Leslie M. McIntyre says, so you can just turn the page a bit, 90, yes, please. Nobody objects to a woman being a good writer or sculptor or, genetics, a geneticist. If at the same time she manages to be a good wife, good mother, good looking, tempered, well groomed, or unaggressive. So let's understand. Obviously, everybody would want a fulsome package. Ki what a balancing woman or man she is. But how do you balance that depends upon you. Are you self-destructive or are you self-constructive? Now think about this. Are you just being nice to people, or are you being nice to yourself also? Now, being nice to yourself means doing what you love. Soulful indulgence says a point in the Abhipriti. Please do something which you love. Yes, sir. Let's take the page number 100. So I'll take it from here. Thank you so much, Badri. I love your voice and thank you for the Rav and the command. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's soulful. So we listen to other people's ideas of what is self-destructive without ever looking at whether their self and our self have similar needs. Caught in the virtue trap, we refuse to ask ourselves, what are my needs? What would I do if I weren't too selfish? Are you self-destructive? This is a very difficult question to answer. To begin with, it requires that we know something of our true self, and that is the very self we have been systematically destroying. So now how do we find this? How do we find are we self-destructive? So we have a few things. Let's understand this a bit more. Before that, let's read what Peter Drucker says. He says, there is a risk you cannot afford to take, and there is a risk you cannot afford not to take. So please take risks because that's how life is beautiful. One way to ascertain the degree of drift is to ask yourself this question. What would I try if it weren't too crazy? Scuba diving, skydiving, belly dancing, Latin dancing, getting my poems published, buying a drum set, bicycling through France. So now, if you find this crazy, great. Do your own list of stuff which is crazy. If your list looks pretty exciting, even if it's crazy, then you're on the right track. These crazy notions are actually voices from your own true self. What would I do if I weren't too selfish? Sign up for scuba lessons, take the Latin dancing class at the Y, buy the poets market and make a submission a week. So now the poets market is a very important it's a concept overseas where people start selling their own poems. You compose something, you submit every day, you're analyzed, and then if you're great, you come into collector's place. So that's an international concept. But for us, what do we want? So now if you see number 3 on the top list and number 3 in the bottom list are coinciding. So one is a plan, the other is an action. So if you want to buy a drum set, you get the used drum set her cousin is trying to sell. You call my travel agent to check out France. So you have a list of crazy stuff. Now you have an action, what you want to do towards making the crazy stuff come true. So by seeing the creator within and embracing our own gift of creativity, we learn to be spiritual in this world, to trust that God is good, and so are we, and so is all of creation. In this way, we avoid the virtue trap. Now, there's a beautiful quiz coming our way, the virtue trap quiz. My biggest lack in my life is, the greatest joy in my life is, the largest time commitment is, as I play more, I work. It should be actually more. So depends on what you're saying. People who are wholesome, playsome, funsome, they do so much more in life rather than people who are very serious and very goal driven and just not having fun. So having fun is very important. A definition of fun can be changing. For Anju, it could be one. For Jigisha, it could be one. For Rima, it could be one. For Pyle, it could be one. For me, it could be one. So it can change whatever we want. I feel guilty that I am. Okay, so all of us have a lot of guilts. Write that down clearly. I worry that. 7. If my dreams come true, my family will. I sabotage myself so people will. If I let myself feel it, I'm angry that I. One reason I get sad sometimes is, does your life serve you or only others? Are you self-destructive? So, quick question to all of you will be: will you want this virtue trap quiz to come as part of your, artist way question answer series today? Do you want that so that you can complete it within the Google form? And I'm not going to see it, so don't worry. I will just know that you've done it. So, if yes, I will include this. So, thank you so much. So, there will be something called a virtue trap quiz in our Google form today. Forbidden joys and exercise. One of the favorite tricks of blocked creatives is saying no to ourselves. It is astonishing the number of small ways we discover to be mean and miserly with ourselves. When I say this to my students, they often protest that this is not true, that they're very good to themselves. Then I ask them to do this exercise. List 10 things you love and would love to do but are not allowed to do. Your list might look like this: go dancing, carry a sketchbook, roller skate, buy new boots, streak your hair blonde, go on a vacation, take flying lessons, move to a bigger place, direct a play, take live drawing class. Very often, the mere act of writing out your list for forbidden joys break down your barriers to doing them. Post your list somewhere highly visible. So, if you all have a vision board by now, or, you have some kind of a board, start putting these things in place so that, you can see it. This is what I resonate with. They say whatever you're seeing is what you're becoming. So if you see your vision board, your list, you will there's a possibility that, you will start doing it. Vis-a-vis it coming into your dream journal and it being closed. So either you revisit that every week, you put a reminder and you do revisit that, or you put something where you can see it. Wish list is an exercise. So this we've done in the magic book, but let's do this today again. In this book, it's much more different. One of the best ways we can evade a censor is to use a technique of speed writing, because wishes are just wishes. They are allowed to be frivolous and frequently should be taken very seriously. As quickly as you can, finish the following phrases. So if they're silly, please unko fatafat karna hai. Write your 19-20 wishes, whichever you think you have, just write them down. Fatafat karna hai, sochna nahi hai. Aaj ke task kya hai? Before that, let's read what Erich Fromm says. He says, the specific meaning of God depends on what is the most desirable good for a person. So again, this is very individual, unique. So, we all have been made unique. If I look at people on the screen right now, any two people, do they look similar even if they're family or siblings? Seema looks different, Poonam looks different, Anchal looks different. If I look at Sanya and Akshay, they're siblings, they look different. None of us looks the same. We are all unique. So what do we want from God? What do we desire from God is also unique. So let it be. Just enjoy it. Task. The following tasks explore and expand your relationship to the source. First, the reason I can't really believe in a supportive God is, so please write down 5 things why you can't. This you will have to do on your own, in your own worksheet. It will come to you as a flyer. Starting an image file. If I had either faith or money, I would try. Please write down 5 things, and if possible, put an image. For the next week, be alert for images of these desires. तुरंत नहीं करनी है हमें. Image किसका example? Please be clear, Amit. So आपको अगर भगवान से क्या चीज़ आप कहाँ सपोर्ट नहीं करते, आप बोलते हो ना बहुत नाइंसाफ़ी कर दी, मुझे ये नहीं करते, मेरे साथ ये नहीं करते, मुझे ये नहीं दिया, मुझे वो नहीं दिया, तो उसके लिए करते हैं. So I hope now you're clear, Amit and Richa. कहाँ आपको गॉड सपोर्ट नहीं करते, कहाँ आपको लगता है कि आपको सपोर्ट नहीं मिल रहा. 5 पॉइंट के लिए. ओके. नंबर 2, इमेज फाइल. आपकी एक 5 डिजायर्स जो भी हैं, उन 5 डिजायर्स को आप लिख लीजिए. अब आपको कमिंग वीक में जब भी फोटोग्राफ्स मिल जाएं, चाहे क्लिक स्क्रीनशॉट कर लीजिए अपना, अगर आप लैपटॉप पे बना रहे हैं, या पिक्चर प्रिंट कर लीजिए और लगा दीजिए. So list 5 desires. For the next week, be alert for images of these desires. When you spot them, clip them, buy them, photograph them, draw them, collect them somehow. With these images, begin a file of dreams that speak to you. Add to it continually for the duration of the course. So जो आपकी image file है, जो आपको बहुत पसंद है, जो आपको अच्छा लगता है, उसको आप ऐड करते रहिए. You know, by the end of this book एक गैलरी सी बन जाएगी, and you will know कि okay, this is what I really love to do. इसके लिए एक स्पेसिफिक बुक रख लीजिएगा. If you want विष्णु द ड्रीम जर्नल, वहाँ रख लीजिएगा. I use that. Number 3, one more time. List 5 imaginary lives. Have they changed? Are you doing more parts of them? You may want to add images of these lives to your image file. अगर आपको याद हो, हमने एक 5 imaginary lives के लिए कहा था कि जो हमें पसंद है, जो हम we like those people, उनकी qualities भी थी. तो क्या उनकी कुछ qualities हमने intertwine करी हैं अपनी लाइफ में? अगर आपको उनकी इमेज लगानी है, उस क्वालिटी की इमेज लगानी है, एक थॉट बबल में लिखना है, so you can do that also. Number 4, if I were 20 and I had money, list 5 adventures. Again, add images of those to your visual image file. So when we were in college, क्या क्या miss हुआ, अब लिख लीजिए. How does it matter? How does it matter? You do double, triple day, it doesn't matter. Number 5, if I was 65 and I had money, list 5 postponed pleasures. And again, collect these images. अब मैं 65 का हो गया हूँ, और अगर मेरे पास बहुत सारा पैसा है, मैंने जो नहीं किया लाइफ में, क्या मैं करना चाहता हूँ, अब जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ उनकी इमेजेस लगा लें. There are people who skydive even in the 80s and 90s. There are people who run marathons and become winners at 100 years of age. So age is not important. Important is your pleasures, addressing them. Very, very important tool. I now live in a house that I'm imaged for years, for 10 years. अगर आपका एक इमेज है कि मुझे इस बंगले में रहना है, इस घर में रहना है, उसकी इमेज प्लीज काट के लगा लो ना. आज नहीं 10 साल के बाद पूरा हो जाएगा, होगा तो सही, लगाओ तो सही अपने विजन बोर्ड पे. जो कपल साथ में काम कर रहे हैं, कॉमन गोल्स बना लो, सो दैट बोथ दोनों की एनर्जी जा रही है. एक कमरे में विजन बोर्ड होना या बाथरूम में किसी अलमारी में होना बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. नंबर 6, 10 ways I'm mean to myself. आप अपने लिए बहुत मीन होते हैं, ट्रस्ट में हम सब होते हैं. कहाँ मीन हो रहे हैं वो आप लिख लीजिए क्लियरली. Just as making the positive explicit helps allows it into our lives, making the negative explicit helps us to exercise it. अगर हम पॉजिटिव क्या ना नेगेटिव हो रहे हैं उसके बारे में लिख लें, और हम क्या करना चाहते हैं वो लिख लें, so that आप थोड़ा सा मीन होना कम कर दें. 7, 10 items I would like to own that I don't. आपके पास 10 आइटम्स क्या हैं जो आपको चाहिए, जो आपके पास नहीं है. जैसे बच्चों का बहुत ड्रीम रहता है, मेरे पास मेरी मैकबुक होनी चाहिए, या मेरे पास मेरा आईपैड होना चाहिए, मेरे पास मेरा आईफोन होना चाहिए. टू मच ऑफ एन एप्पल वर्ल्ड. ऐसे जब आप बड़े हैं, क्या 10 चीजें हैं जो आपको बहुत चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल समबडी से मुझे लैम्बोर्गिनी चलानी है, ओके, सो मुझे रोल्स रॉयस चलानी है, तो ओके ग्रेट, लिखो. नाउ ऐड दीज इमेजेस. In order to boost sales, experts in sales motivation often teach rookie salesmen to post images of what they would like to do and own. It works. So salesmanship में बोला जाता है जो हमें करना है, अचीव करना है, उसकी फोटोग्राफ लगा लो तो जल्दी मिल जाता है. ऐसे ही हम सबको जो चीज़ चाहिए उसकी पिक्चर्स लगाना. देखिए विजुअल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं, चाहे आप माने चाहे आप नहीं माने. Honestly, my favorite creative block is TV, overeating, friends, work, rescuing others, overexercise, you name it. So बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हम अपनी एनर्जी को ब्लॉक कर रहे हैं, उसमें ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हैं. क्या कई लोग प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन में बहुत टाइम स्पेंड कर लेते हैं, ख्याली पुलाव ही बनाते ही रहते हैं, इम्प्लीमेंट करते ही नहीं. सो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हमको वो इमेज लगाना, कार्टून बनानी अपने आप के लिए, या ड्रॉ करना या नहीं करना, हम सब ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, चाहे लेफ्ट हमारा हाथ ही हो। क्या चीज़ है, इसके लिए भी आप थोड़ा ड्रॉ करिए, इट विल बी इम्पॉर्टेंट। नंबर 9, माई पे ऑफ फॉर स्टेइंग ब्लॉक्ड इज, सो अगर आप ब्लॉक्ड हैं, आपने कुछ चीज़ नहीं करी, तो उसकी प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही है आपको, एंड इसमें शायद इस टॉपिक के ऊपर आपको मॉर्निंग पेजेस में लिखना चाहिए। जितना आप लिखेंगे उतने ब्लॉकेजेस खत्म होंगे। नंबर 10, द पर्सन आई ब्लेम फॉर बीइंग ब्लॉक्ड इज, और हम लोग हमेशा ब्लेम गेम करते हैं कि मैं ब्लॉक्ड हूँ बिकॉज उसने ये करा, मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली, मैं ग्रो नहीं कर पाया। अरे सब ग्रो कर पाते हैं, ग्रो करने वाला बनना चाहिए। आपके अपने पेजेस पे इसको भी लिख सकते हैं, आपकी ब्लॉकेजेस खत्म होंगी। स्टेला टेरल मैन कहते हैं, to accept the responsibility of being a child of God is to accept the best that life has to offer you. So अगर आप चाइल्ड ऑफ गॉड हैं, तो अपने लिए बेस्ट प्लान करो ना यार। गॉड के बच्चे के पास सब कुछ होना चाहिए ना, हमारे पास सब कुछ होना चाहिए, सब कुछ, सब कुछ मतलब सब कुछ, एनीथिंग। सो नाउ चेक इन्स करने हैं, लास्ट हफ्ते हमने क्या किया, हमने कितनी बार मॉर्निंग पेजेस लिखे, अब हमें अच्छे लगने लग गए क्या क्या सो आई एम गोइंग टू रीड देम। नहीं समझ में आया तो प्लीज राइट द नंबर पॉइंट। चेक इन, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? Are you starting to like them at all? How was the experience for you? Have you discovered the page and a half truth point yet? इसका मतलब कुछ सही point truth अपना कुछ बाहर निकल के आया क्या? Many of us find that pay dirt in our own writing occurs after page and a half of vamping. मतलब vamping मतलब लिखना लिखना लिखना, कुछ ना कुछ सत्य उससे बाहर निकलता है, इसको truth निकलते हैं। Number 2, did you do your artist date this week? Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? What did you do for your date? How did it feel? Have you taken an artist date yet that really felt adventurous? So adventure में जाना बहुत important है. Just go for it. Number 3, did you experience any synchronicity this week? How was it? Try inaugurating a conversation on synchronicity with your friends. Synchronicity मतलब एक pattern again and again. जैसे मुझे 1-to-1 दिखता है बहुत ज़्यादा angels. So you know आपको क्या दिख रहा है, synchronicity कहाँ पर हो रही है वो आप देखिए. Number 4, were there any other issues this week that you describe consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. कुछ issues बाहर निकले जिनको आपको बोलना है मुझे heal करना है, recover करना है. So describe them. See the meaning of number 13. Maybe that's your angel number. So, okay, now Nitin is asking question. How come we undo everything we have doing right all these days? Sorry? How come we undo everything we have doing? I didn't get your question, Nitin. You have to raise your, hand. Didn't understand. Yes, please.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, tell me all these books when you go, it takes you back. You highlight things you don't you trying to come out of it. You go back into those things. You analyze all those things once again, and then you come out. It's been in 2, 3, 4 books what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm not getting it. I really want to understand that.
नितिन हम हील कर रहे हैं, हमने उनको पीछे छोड़ दिया था कि चलो छोड़ो लेट गो कर दो, पर हमने हील कहाँ कर रूट कॉज को। ये बुक्स हमें वापस ले जा रही हैं, अंडरस्टैंड करवा रही हैं, एनालाइज करवा रही हैं और हम हील हो रहे हैं।
I'm very honest. If I ask myself that you have to forget and forgive, I'm typically asking you. I have already done it, but how do I go back again and do the same thing? I think it's out of my mind. I feel blessed.
In that case, don't do it. देखो, we all should know our inner guidance. अगर आपका मन बोलता है कि नहीं मुझे नहीं करना है तो मत करिए.
Okay.
So do what you think is good for you.
I was just thinking that there are certain things, obviously, it'll again crop up again. We have to nail it. Probably it's the right way to do it. But
I have done this book once पूरा. Now I'm doing again second time. मेरे को तो कोई भी block नहीं लगते. उल्टा every time I'm earning and getting out of it. So much more I'm earning.
Yeah.
So I think you should be nice and open and receptive. कुछ नहीं पसंद है मत करो, अपने हाथ में. Okay. All right, thank you. Rima, question number 9, payoff was taking blocked is, अगर मैं एक पैटर्न को बार बार कर रही हूँ और वो मेरा नेगेटिव वीक पॉइंट है, तो मुझे क्या मिल रहा है उससे? मैं वहीं स्टक हूँ ना, क्या पे ऑफ मिल रहा है? सो इट्स टाइम टू एक्सप्लोर इट. लिखना शुरू करना पड़ेगा, एनालाइज करना पड़ेगा कि मैं क्यों ब्लॉक्ड हूँ, क्या प्रॉब्लम है कि मैं मूव नहीं कर पाती. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जिन लोग की बॉडी में वेट बहुत ज्यादा रहता है, बढ़ता ही चला जाता है, उनके ब्लॉकेज है, उनको लिखना पड़ेगा मैं क्यों खाती हूँ, क्या हो जाता है. स्टार्ट राइटिंग, स्टार्ट एक्सप्लोरिंग. Good, Seema. जो आ रहा है उसको लिखिए. So thank you, Ritesh sir, for showcasing this beautiful book for all of us. Now, Bharat Bhai will read the heart thought for all of us. So any questions? Again, I'm repeating. कभी भी मुझे बोल दीजिए. We will again sit down and quash them. I'm happy to answer your point. I'm sorry, Prachi. आप actually late सो के जागते हो. पहले भी मैंने कई बार देखा. Sorry to say that. Number 8. Open your closet. No, sorry. This was number 5. Week. नंबर 5 तो बहुत इजी है. 65 ईयर्स की उम्र में तुम्हारे पास पैसे हैं, तुम्हें लाइफ में क्या चीजें करनी जो तुमने पहले नहीं करी थी, अब तुम की प्लान बना लो, पिक्चर निकाल लो. बहुत इजी है. इसमें क्या कंफ्यूजन है? हाँ, थोड़ा सा अलर्ट रहा कर, टाइम पे क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया कर. आई एम हैप्पी टू आंसर. 1-to-1 पूछ लिया कर. इट्स एब्सोल्युटली ओके. सो यस, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये सारी एक्सरसाइजेस जो हैं, अगर आप लोग को फ्यूटाइल लग रही हैं, सो दैट्स योर साइकी. बट बिलीव मी, इफ यू डू देम शिद्दत से, यू हैव 1 वीक टू डू इट. बहुत कुछ निकल के आएगा. Infinite power. You can spend all your time gripping and begrudging the things that went wrong, or how you are not good enough, or you can spend your time thinking about joyous experiences. So आपके हाथ में है हमेशा क्रिटिसाइज करना, ग्रज लेना पुरानी चीज़ों के बारे में, ये सही नहीं था, ये सही नहीं था, या टाइम स्पेंड करना नई चीज़ के बारे में, अच्छी चीज़ों के बारे में जो क्रिएट करना है आपको. Loving yourself and thinking joyful, happy thoughts is the quickest route you can take to creating a wonderful life. तो अच्छी थॉट सोचना फटाफट आपको ट्रांसपोर्ट कर देता है एक अच्छी एनर्जी जोन में, एंड आप अपनी लाइफ क्रिएट कर पाते हैं. सो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हम सबको बोलना अपने आप को, आई हैव अनलिमिटेड पोटेंशियल, आई हैव आई एम इन्फिनिट पावर. यस भारत भाई, प्लीज स्टार्ट फॉर अस. आपको अनम्यूट तो करना पड़ेगा जी.
I have unlimited potential
जी.
in the infinity of life where we all are. All is perfect, whole and complete. We rejoice in knowing we are one with the power that created us. This power loves all its creation, including us. We are beloved children of the universe and have been given everything. We are the highest form of life on this planet and have been equipped with all that we need for every experience we shall have. Our minds are always connected to the one infinite mind. Therefore, all knowledge and wisdom are available to us as we believe it in so. We trust ourselves to create for ourselves only that which is for our highest good, greatest joy, and perfect for our spiritual growth and evolution. We love who we are. We are particularly delighted with the incarnation we have chosen this lifetime. Very good. We know that we can form moment to moment, shape and reshape our personality and even our bodies to further express our greatest potential. Yes, we rejoice in our unlimitedness and know that before us lies the totality of possibility in every area. We trust totally in the one power and we know all is well in our world. So be it.
So it
Thank you
is.
so much.
Thank you, Bharat Bhai. That was magical. So all of us are infinite. All of us are infinite in our possibilities and our potential. And that's what today's chapter was all about. That अपने mind को हमने use ही नहीं किया अभी तक. अभी तक हमने अपने subconscious mind को use नहीं किया, conscious mind को use किया. World के बनाए हुए दायरों में फंसे रहे. The minute we start thinking happy thoughts, the minute we start connecting to our one self, the one infinite mind, the minute we start trusting ourselves and our life, then we'll only be creating something beautiful. And the minute we do that, we will be perfect for our spiritual growth and evolution. Spiritually evolve करेंगे तो हम financially, personally, emotionally, every way will evolve. So it's very important to evolve spiritually. And then we're creating our lives because we are limitless. So how wonderful. Thank you, Bharat Bhai, for reading so beautifully for all of us. And thank you, Badri, once again. Now let's meditate with not very long meditation, but a nice one, feeling good meditation. So let's close our eyes, our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground or cross-legged. But wherever you are, feel yourself grounded with Mother Earth, rooted. Try and wear a smile on your face because the morning is absolutely magical, and so is our life. So let's create a wonderful morning knowing that we are here for a purpose. Let's inhale love. Feel the love pulsating in your body. Exhale love and share with everyone, everything around you. Inhale light. Share the light with the world. You are magical. Life is magical. So let's inhale magic and create the life we desire. We are magicians in this beautiful world. Life is magic. I am magic. Life is wonderful. I am wonderful. Everything in my life is absolutely majestic because I am majestic. So let's feel the majesty within us. I now give and receive love freely. I now attract all loving, satisfying relationships in my life. My relationship with my loved ones is growing beautifully, and I'm getting happier day by day. Everything in my life is purposeful, meaningful, and it's so fulfilling. And I absolutely love it. I now have a satisfying, well paying job, business, attachment, or commitment, or lifestyle. I love doing my work and am richly rewarded creatively and financially. I'm an open channel of creative energy. I release the artist within me. I write my morning pages diligently, and the blockages just seem to open up. I am an artist. I'm dynamically self creative. I create, I express. I enjoy relaxing and having fun because I treat myself to an artist date. I pamper myself. I communicate clearly and effectively. It's okay for me to have everything I want. In fact, I am a God's child. I am meant to have everything I want. So I know I'm the only one who can achieve it because I am limitless. I need to be crystal clear on my projects, my dreams, write them down, break them down, and implement them, work on them. And that's what I do. I now have enough time, energy, wisdom, and money to accomplish all my desires because I am spiritual. I'm always in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity because I am magic. This is an abundant universe of mine, and there's plenty for all of us. No competition, no pressure. Everyone in my industry grows and thrives just the way I do. So do everyone. And we all have enough. We don't resort to bad measures because we are truthful people and we flow in love. Abundance is my natural state of being. Every day I'm growing more financially prosperous. The more the more I have to give. And now I've started giving because I have become a giver. I receive and I give. I give and I receive. It's a circle of law, the law of love. And I love living in this beautiful life. How wonderful. It's okay for me to have fun, enjoy, and pamper myself. It's fine to give myself some value, giving myself some kind of attention, because I am magical. I am beautiful. I am learning to evolve, and so it is. Let's put down our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth. Dear Mother Earth, thank you for nurturing us with all your love. The virtues you're giving me are absolutely amazing. I'm feeling that I'm flowing in love. I'm more loving, more compassionate, more kind, more passionate. I am loving and living my life to the best. And thank you for nurturing me with so much of integrity. You're always committed. I'm trying to become like you. I'm trying to grow into new leaf. And thank you, dear Mother Earth. I love you. Let's look at a life level and thank our wonderful life. What we have created in the past, what we're creating right now, and what we'll create in the future. We are the artists. We are the creator. And so it is. Thank you, dear life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's look up at the universe, heavens above, open our hands. Dear universe, thank you for having our backs. Thank you, life, for having our back. We trust you so, so much. Thank you, divinities, for always showering us with your choicest of blessings. Dear angels, thank you for cueing us in so many magics. Dear guardians, you're always keeping us safe. Protection layer around us is becoming bigger and bigger, wider and wider, because now we are in a spiritual world, so we're protected also. Now let's expand our angel heart. I am love. I am light. I shine bright, bright here, bright now. I am open and receptive to all the love and goodness and abundance in the universes. I am a yes person to all things wonderful, and especially a yes person to myself, because I love and nurture myself every day, and so it is. Let's fold our hands in gratitude, rub them together, bless our conscious subconscious, our wonderful face, our neck, our shoulders, arms, back, hips, chest, lungs, heart, liver, stomach, gallbladder, kidneys, uterus, intestines, excretory organs, sexual organs, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, heels, soles, toe finger, nails, and we gently come back up. Hand in front of our heart, there is wonderful magical body. To the trillions of cells in me, to the hundreds, thousands, kilometers of blood circulation system, to my muscles, tissues, fibers, glands, bones, skin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep detoxing whenever you want. Keep detoxing bad thoughts, bad energy, any excess weight, because now we are nurturing ourselves with love and light. So we are love and light. And let's share our love and light with our Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. And so it is. Love, light, abundance, and healing blessings to you, Gyanji, Ushaji, Hina, Prachi, Rigu, Naveen, Ajay, Anju, Rima, Prakash, Jikisha, Nikita, Rajiv, Payal, Poonam, Anchal, Nitin, Shelly, Nisha, Vandana, Siddharth, Mudita, Nehal, Yashvi, Mitu, Pratimaji, Karishma, Sangeeta, Harpreet, Rohini ji, Puneet, Ritu, Rashi, Sanya, Kripa, Shruti, Shubhra, Prashant, Radhika, Sakshi, Shivani, Badri, Bharadbhai, Pinaji, Parul, Jitendraji, Ankur, Amit, Richa, Neelam, Shami, Sakshi, Seema, Chandra, Radhika, Richa, Alifia, Ankita, Akshay, Kuldeep ji, Parul, Seema again, Asmeet, Sunita, Sakshi Mathur, Aksha, Disha, Kavita, Reena, Poonam, Alona, Selish, one to one for life, Pritesh sir, Monica, Ashish, Yuvi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be blessed, and let's see each other tomorrow morning at 5. Ritesh sir, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amrita, thank you. Sanjay sir, thank you. Shweta, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's see each other tomorrow at 5. Be safe until tomorrow. Take care.